It's October. It's, Halloween, horror, everything, you know, not nice, things like that everywhere. Gaming, movies, books, whatever. With that said, let's take a look at a recent fan translation for a game called Dead of the Brain 2. Now, obviously, this is the sequel. The original one was translated in 2023 by various translators. I'll have links in the description below. All that YouTube stuff that people are tired of hearing. With Dead of the Brain 2, what's different here is while it is still a visual novel in the style of Snatcher, where you interact with the scene instead of just reacting to paragraphs and paragraphs of text and then choosing one of two options, like most visual novels, there's a lot of adventure traits in this style of visual novel. I'm not really sure you could call it a visual novel, but it is in that vein because you are interacting with like static pictures, a little bit of animation here and there, but it is a visual novel. It's you're not dealing with sprites. You're almost dealing with a less action on screen than a full motion video game actually. But there's so much more of it because it's not full motion video and taking up tons of room on the CD-ROM. The version that we're looking at here is for the PC-98, which was obviously a computer only released in Japan. And me personally, the PC-98. I've only have a cursory experience with it. Seeing fan translations here and there over the years, and so I've never owned one. Probably never will. I live in Arkansas. We don't get a lot of Japanese computers here, but for those that don't know what Dead of the Brain 2 is, it's obviously a sequel. It continues on the story left after the events of the first game, where you play a character named Cole, going up trying to save his love interest, and you think you completed your goal, saved her, stopped the scientist that wanted to do some kind of resurrection thing, and started this mess. Well, now in Dead of the Brain 2, you find out that you kind of failed in the first game. And now you have to deal with not only the undead, but also bikers that are wanting to capitalize on the turmoil. If you're a fan of point and click adventure games, visual novels, and horror stuff, you'll probably enjoy this one. Uh, what I am concerned with is they oversimplified things. The original was very much like Snatcher. You had look, pick up, things like that, options on the side of the screen. The sequel, you have move and system. That's it. Now, you interact with the scenes by moving the cursor around, and when you find something on the screen that you can interact with, a box will pop up, alerting you that you can interact with whatever your cursor is over. That's all fine and dandy, but it just seems oversimplified to me. And maybe it's because maybe the sequel is focusing much more on the story, so maybe they're doing it. That's why they did this. Maybe they're wanting to make it simpler for people that are new to the genre. Unfortunately, this genre never really took off. I mean, even normal point and click adventures like King's Quest, Maniac Mansion, things like that also had, you know, buttons or whatever you want to call it, text on the screen that you could click and then interact with the scene in a similar manner. They never really took off here. That whole genre never really took off. I mean, it's good. I mean, there's new titles in the genre, mainly in the indie scene, but commercially, point and click adventures never really took off. I mean, like, yeah, King's Quest is probably the most popular, but there's not much after that. I mean, like Monkey Island and things like that, people remember, but for me, a lot of people in my circle, they know the titles, but they never played them, or they've only played maybe one game in the franchise. Anyways, regardless, Dead of the Brain 2 is now translated to English. You can I'll have the links in the description below. Grab it, play it, check it out, enjoy it if you're a horror fan. Everybody else, this one may not be for you.